Hey guys, welcome back. Today I am working on Project Life week 42 and I'm using a whole bunch of Citrus Twist goodies. So I'm starting with the Flea Market Findings kit and just kind of going through the papers slash cards that I've got left from this kit. And I kind of picked out this one floral and I don't end up using it. I wanted something a little bit more neutral this week. Now my photos are kind of neutral in themselves, but I really liked how kind of light and bright they were, and I didn't want to overwhelm that with a whole bunch of kind of pattern and color. I wanted something a little bit plainer, so I grabbed the November exclusive papers. They're kind of a bit more ledger themed, which I love for this kind of style. So I just took one of the 6x8 papers, trimmed it straight in half, and I'm going to use both of those pieces for my 4x6 slots that I've got this week. I did want to add like a little bit of color, and actually it was really just this kind of blue floral pattern. I've had my eye on it for a while and it just really called to me this week, so I'm kind of gonna fill in a couple of the 3x4 spots with a little bit of blue. Now there wasn't like a significant amount of blue in my photos or anything. It really is just the pattern, the floral pattern, that I really liked the look of, and I'm going to base the rest of that on that floral rather than my photos. Like I said, the photos, they don't have any kind of significant color in them anywhere, and so I'm just working with that. Now I've got I've actually got more of that blue than I kind of thought I had. So I started with a 3x4 with the floral and then added in a kind of plainer blue pattern. It's kind of a kind of fancy grid. And there was also a little bit of that floral pattern in the cut apart sheet, and I did cut out one of the tags, and that was the floral that I originally picked out, the black and white one, and it's got a tiny little dot of blue on the tag, so I'm going to use that. That's basically where I'm going for. Everything's going to end up being neutral with just a little bit of blue on it. There was also another part to the cut apart sheet that I quite liked the little quote for, so I'm going to tuck that under my photo and use it as an embellishment. So all in all, that's really as far as it goes for blue. Like there's not a whole lot of pattern and color in there, but I love those little pops of blue. It's not a color I use a whole bunch in my documenting, so this is a nice little change. Now this week I did really try to bear in mind the simplicity thing, like keeping it simple, so I'm not spending too much time like agonizing over each little piece. This was a really quick layout to put together. I'm really just going to have a couple of journaling spots, and the embellishment that I'm going to do this week is going to be pretty minimal, apart from adding, I guess, those few spots of pattern, those floral patterns. Both the floral patterns that I've used are they're pretty bold, so that kind of takes up a lot of visual space, so everything else I want to keep pretty plain. Now I kind of got lucky in that there were a few pieces of chipboard on the chipboard sheet that were perfect for this week, really. A couple of blue ones. I'm going to use this really strong black one. I do want to differentiate this from the kind of flat lay of my desk scene. I just went to put the chipboard straight onto the photo. That was all I was planning on doing, but it kind of disappeared into the photo, like it looked like it might have been part of the photo. So just adding a little mat of that same grid blue pattern in behind there, just to kind of separate it from the photo a little bit. Now I've added a couple of these blue chipboard pieces. They're just little phrase stickers, so I'm adding one to my 3x4 of Lil, and I've added one to the kind of blank space in my office door up the top there. And the little phrase stickers, then there's no blue in here, but again, little bits of neutral, but they kind of just go with the theme. Like each of these photos is basically just getting a little tiny word phrase, whether that's a chipboard or the cut apart piece, or now my little tiny phrase stickers. This one here, I'm just trimming down just a little bit just to make it even more tiny, because I've already got the chipboard on there and I don't want the sticker to take up quite as much visual room, so I just trimmed off some of the blank space top and bottom so that I could add that onto the left. And I'm going to do the same thing, which is just add a tiny word sticker, a tiny phrase sticker to my other 3x4. Now I've got my title card, which is looking kind of plain here. It's got that tag from the cutout sheet that I trimmed out. I also used a hole punch just to punch the hole. It is quite a small tag, and the little blue kind of reinforcing dot that's printed on it is pretty small. So I used a very, very tiny hole punch to punch a hole in there. I'm not going to add any thread or anything. It just kind of makes it look a little bit more tag-like because I have punched out the hole. And again, I got super lucky because I went through the die cut pack. I'm not going all the way through the die cut pack because I definitely don't need to add any more die cuts on here. But I was looking to see whether there was a label for my date stamping, and I got lucky. There was a blue one. It's a little bit probably larger than I would have normally used because I'm only adding a couple of date stamps to it, but it's going to work. I'm just going to add that underneath. Actually, I changed my mind and I put it on top just to create the world's smallest layered cluster for my title, sort of title spot up here. Now, I did change my mind about where I wanted that to. It was over on the left-hand side before, but because it's sort of on top of another pattern paper there on that 3x4 card, I decided to move it over to the right-hand side, which looks visually better as a whole, but I sort of struggle to work on here. As you can see, I wasn't wrong. The title of the video is not wrong. This is week 42, and I'm adding week 41. So I got really lucky because I'm not stamping my title this week. I'm adding stickers. I literally do not notice until I turn the camera off, and I took my photos and I imported them into my computer, and I went to edit this video and realized I'd put week 41. I thought, hold on, that's not right. I did week 41 last week, and yeah, I did. And so luckily, again, I got lucky that it was stickers and not stamps. It was really easy just to pick off that number 1, add a number 2, and you'll see that in the detail shots at the end there. Now, all I've done is just date stamped into the label. I did sort of squish it up to the top just to leave a lot of that open. I didn't want to fill up the whole label with date stamping. Now I've gone ahead and grabbed those cards and done my journaling just straight through my typewriter. I am having to fight my typewriter a bit at the moment. Sort of a vintage typewriter is not perfect. I have to let go of that perfection. And I'm going to just add my photo, but again, I wanted to kind of add a little bit of blue. So I mounted it on what was left of that blue grid paper and called this week done. So I managed to keep it simple this week. It was a really quick week to put together, and I'm super happy with how it turned out. I guess practice does make perfect. Hey, thanks for watching today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there are a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you really soon. Bye.